Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's conversation. We are privileged to have Mrs. Petro Benadé here today. Good day, Petro. How are you?
Good morning, Prof. Emerentia. Fine, thank you. And you?
Also fine, thank you. Will you please introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Mrs. Petro Benadé. I'm a lecturer at the Northwest University in South Africa at the Potchefstroom campus, and I'm responsible to teach the first-year nursing students community health nursing, and we teach them how to care for persons in the community, families, children, and especially older persons. And then I'm also married to Johannes for 33 years. I'm very lucky to have him, and we have 3 married daughters, 3 sons-in-laws, and 2.5 grandchildren. So this is who I am. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to have you here today. I know that you've read a lot on presence and also are doing research on presence. So could you perhaps tell us about your relationship with presence?
Okay, I can maybe start from the beginning. My master's degree I did on the resilience of nurses caring for older persons, because what I try to do with my research, my passion in life is older persons, and I try to do everything to really improve the care that older persons experience. So with a master's degree, we realized we did research with nurses in South Africa, and that we try to find out what do they do to be resilient, what do they do to keep on and keep going while caring for older persons. And we were able to apply the data of that research on the model of CAR, and he said all of us experience a lot of challenges and opportunities every day, and the way we handle it is by using strengths. And our studies showed that nurses caring for older persons use personal strengths, professional strengths, contextual strengths, and spiritual strengths to be able to be resilient. And the more they use the strengths, the stronger the strengths get and the more resilient they get. And then actually I thought I'm going to use this and do a PhD, and then you, Prof. Emerentia, introduced me to presence, but you are very soft and you gave me all the literature to read. And then I realized, but really this is a pull that we have here. This is something very special, this presence. And we were in the fortunate position when you got the NRF grant to go to the Netherlands to Prof. Andries Baard that wrote the presence theory and all the stuff from the Presence Foundation. And we were like in the old days, the students that sit here at the feet of these big professors, and they actually told us what presence are all about. And there I really understood what presence means, and they showed us that they really apply it in practice. They do it in healthcare institutions, in businesses, because presence improves the well-being of the patients or the clients, but also the well-being of the nurses that practice presence. So then I decided that this is how I'm going to do my PhD on, so that is how I have been introduced to presence.
Wonderful. That sounds like a wonderful journey, and realizing the needs of nurses and reading on that and visiting these experts and realizing that presence is so important.
That's right.
Okay, so how
would you like me?
Yes, please.
Would you like me to tell you a bit about my research that I'm planning to do or I'm busy with? Okay. Currently what we plan, the proposal has been approved by our Health Research Ethics Committee, but now with the COVID-19 pandemic, all the research have been halted to protect the participants, but also to protect the researchers of the Northwest University. But what I'm planning, and I'm just going to need to amend it a little bit and then get approval again. Unfortunately, I'm now a board member of a retirement village, so I have an inside look of the context, and it really helped me to know how I can still do my research but just make some amendments. So what I plan is, the title of the research is Exploring Good Care to Older Persons Through Presence Practices, Design, Development and Evaluation of an Intervention. So I'm going to use the design and development model of Rothman and Thomas of 1994, and the whole intervention is going to be based on this. So there are 4 objectives. The first objective is to explore and describe the perceptions of managers, nurses, and caregivers on how they see good care to older persons. And then I'm also going to do a literature study to see what literature can tell us about presence and good care to older persons. And then I'm also going to look what nurses and caregivers do while they provide good care to older persons, and then design and develop the intervention. So what we plan to do is to have naive sketches with all the managers, nurses, and caregivers, and they need to tell us what is good care to older persons, what presence practices promote good care to older persons, what are the facilitating factors, what are the hampering factors. Then we're going to analyze the data and then have focus group interviews with them to tell them this is what we found, do they agree, do they want to add something, and how can we enhance it. Enhance the positive things, the facilitating things, how can we address the obstructive factors. Then I'm going to do a thorough literature review because there are a lot of wonderful research already done, some of the ones that you've authored, to see what is presence, what presence practices can promote good care to older persons, and then what is good care to older persons and what can we do, what models and theories exist to use. Then I also wanted, before the lockdown, to observe while nurses care for older persons and have interviews with the nurses and the older persons and use all this information to develop this intervention. So now I'm going to adjust a little bit. The things I wanted to do face to face, I'm now thinking about rather let everyone write naive sketches. It's the same as a written narrative, and then combine that with literature because it's then safer for my participants and for me, and I can still get the data I need. So that is very shortly what I plan.
Wonderful, and many blessings with that. I believe that it will go well.
Thank you.
After reading a lot on presence, what is your view on presence?
Okay, to be honest, when I first started to read on presence, I didn't really understand what it was all about because I know it was something very good, but I couldn't really understand it. Then Prof. Andries Baard actually really explained it to me what's easy for me as a nurse. Now, he told me, like, say, for instance, any procedure a nurse needs to do or any interaction with a patient, I can do in a cold, non-presence way, or I can do it in a warm presence way. So if you think of cold, it's a blue color. If you think of warm, it's a red color. So now I'm a nurse caring for, or a caregiver caring for older persons in an old age home, and I need to give this patient the bed bath. I can do it in a cold way. I can have like half an hour or 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and I clean you from head to toe. So you are cleaned. I have the skills, the knowledge. I clean you, but you feel cold. You are clean, but you are cold. You feel unloved, uncared for. But I have that same 10, 15 minutes to bath you. And if I do it in a presence way, in a warm way, I first introduce myself. I ask you to introduce you. I ask you, how do you feel? Are you comfortable? Would you like something to drink? Would you like to pass urine? Are you warm enough? Can I do something? Put on the heater, give you a nice bunny blanket. And then still, I wash you from head to toe. I need to have all this expert knowledge and skills to care well for you as a nurse. But I talk to you. I ask you, how do you feel? How do you feel in this COVID-19 time? Are you very stressed? Have you contact with your family? So then I care for you. I clean you nicely. And at the end of the procedure, you feel like $1 million. You feel special. You are treated with respect. You have dignity. So that is, and then the difference between the cold and the warm, that is the presence practices. And that is what Prof. Andries Baard told us. That is now what I'm trying to research. I'm going to see what do nurses that care for patients in a warm way do different than the ones that do it in a cold way. So these presence practices is things like the relationship with the patient, your communication, to be caring, to listen to your patient. What is your patient's need, their preferences? Who are they? What did they do in their life? Do they have family? Do they have children? So that relationship, together with caring, loving, and the knowledge and skills of nursing, that is what caring is all about. Your patient must really feel well cared for. He must feel safe emotionally and physically in your presence.
Wonderful, thank you. I think that makes it very practical and a wonderful example of presence. Thank you. Can you give us some examples of times that you experienced or practiced presence?
Okay, the times that I can remember was the times before I really knew what presence was. But when I thought back about it, I know it was presence. The first time I've been a manager of a retirement village here from about 2000 up till about the beginning of 2006. And then the first day when I went to this retirement village, I walked from my office down the corridor, and on my right-hand side, there was a door, and I heard someone speak with an older person. And I stopped and I listened, and the person really, she talked so nicely with so much respect and dignity. She asked the patient how he is there anything that he needs, how can she help him, is there anything she can do for him? And I thought, shoot, this is nice. I would like to work at this place and be the manager of this retirement village if this is the way we talk to older persons. And that lady is Mrs. Betsy de Toy. When I walked around, she was the caregiver that was providing care to this older person. And from that time on, I saw the potential in her. And later on, she became the head of she was the head of the catering services and also of the household services of that retirement village.
Wonderful.
So that is the one example that I can show you.
Mm-hmm.
The other example, about 2 years ago, our students had an older person's project at the service center of the age in Potchefstroom. Now, we divided the group in two. The one group had activities with the older persons at the center, and the other group went into the homes in the community where they did activities with the older persons in the community. And at that stage, Sister Wilna Joubert was the head of the nursing services at the service center. And me and the other researcher from Sweden were in the car with her, and she took us to some of the homes. And from the time she went into that home, the way she spoke to the older persons, to the caregivers that cared for the older persons, I really saw that as presence. I could see they love her, they feel well cared for. And she had all the necessary knowledge and skills. She could see that the nursing care was 100%, but she was also emotionally there with a loving, caring way. She actually practiced presence. And that was a very good example for me.
That's wonderful. It's actually very inspiring to hear nurses who are caregivers who are there and so caring.
Yes. Yeah. So we hope with the intervention we can learn from them and then combine it with literature and then even make it available for more nurses to learn. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. We've come to nearly the end of our conversation. Do you have some encouraging words for nurses, please?
Okay. Firstly, there's a lot of things, but there's 3 things I want you to think about. A week or 2 ago, I heard a person say, all that we all have is today. Yesterday is gone. We don't even know if we will be here tomorrow. And this now applies to all of us with the COVID-19. So we have today. So today, do everything you want to do. Phone that person you want to, eat that chocolate, bake that chocolate cake, but also today, be good. Every interaction you have with your husband, with your children, but also with every patient. If you work in casualties or in ICU, if you work in a general ward, care for older persons, wherever you work, you have today. So be caring, be loving, respect them, be present. So make the best of today. So handle today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow you handle tomorrow. The second thing they need to remember is a professional person treats other people with respect. So from the highest person until the lowest person you interact with, treat them with respect and they will respect you as a nurse or as a caregiver. Don't wait for them to first treat you with respect. You're going to wait very long. You need to do it with everyone. And the last thing is treat other people as you would like to be treated. Like now, people are scared, your staff are scared, the students are scared, the older persons, the patients are scared, the families, they are scared. So treat them as you would like to be treated. Think if you were in their shoes. They are scared now. You are a nurse and you need to help them. So be patient, be caring, listen to them. You need to have the knowledge and the skills, but be present. Have a relationship with them, get to know them, ask them how they feel, what is now important for them. So those three things is you have today, treat everyone with respect and treat them the way you would like to be treated. And what I also want to say, all nurses and caregivers, you all have a contribution. Even if you are old or even if you are bedridden, you can pray for us. You can get involved, maybe at an old age home or a school or a care center. There's something you will be able to do, because we as nurses are actually very, very well equipped and empowered by our training and our experience to be able to help people to practice presence and also to help everyone in this very difficult time with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you so very much. That's so encouraging, and I think it's words to live by. Thank you so much. That's very
Thank you for the privilege, and thank you for everything. You are my promoter, so thank you very much for what you do for presence and the presence research. We really appreciate it.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.